Hello, 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 and welcome to today's Brown Bag Business Boost. My name is Yolanda Churchwell, and I am the CEO's fractional COO. I partner with six-figure female founders to help them streamline their operations so that they can maximize their profits and reclaim their time with ease. So we're going to hop right in because y'all know, if you know me, you know that this whole systems and automations, that's my groove. That is my thing. I get high off of it. And I have some notes because I need to keep me on task because we're supposed to keep this for 30 minutes or less, and I don't want to keep you too long. Um, so often I come in and I talk about the back end. Let's make sure that we have all of your back end operations together. We want to make sure that everything is running smoothly behind the scenes, all of the things that are required for your business to work. You know what I'm saying? So you have the stuff that you do on the front with your clients. You have the things that you do if you do sales, speaking, selling books, all of those things. But behind the scenes are all of the things that make that easier. Now, what you may be finding is that as you've grown to this level, you may have been a solopreneur. You may have had a few contractors. You may actually even be to a point where you have a full team. But what you'll realize is that whether it's people, whether it's systems, whether it's you, yourself, and Jesus working things out, the bigger your business is, the more revenues that you generate, you're going to feel this tug of war between what it is you do for your clients and the business of doing business. Well, that's where I come in. I help you with the business of doing business. I take that off your hands so you can focus on the things on the front end. But I would be remiss if I said that it's only the things on the back end because it doesn't make any sense for us to come in and have everything working smoothly, have your processes in place, have your systems in place, build out your team, and just be sitting there. Because this entrepreneurship, baby, it is not a field of dreams. I've never even seen the movie, but I know that build it and they will come is not a truth. That is not a truth. And so you still need to be able to create a steady pipeline of people who need your help. And one of the things that I learned in the last couple weeks is that a lot of times CEOs think that people know what you're doing and they're going to ask for your services. That is not the case. You have to ask them. You have to offer what you do to them. And you will be amazed by how many people actually need you, but they haven't asked you. They're waiting for you to ask them. Okay. So you need to make it as easy as possible to attract those people so that you know who your tribe is. Because let's be clear, everybody is not your tribe. Are y'all with me? Have you ever had those clients and you like, all money ain't good money? Okay. So you want to make sure that you're attracting your tribe, the people who are going to be receptive to how you move, who you are, and that you're going to be able to provide a solution for. Okay. We good? All right. So let's jump right in. So today I wanted to talk about the fact that we're going to get everything cool on the back end, but you also need to have that pipeline of leads. What are leads? Leads are your tribe. That's when have you ever been fishing? Okay, so I used to go fishing with my dad. Okay, so when you go fishing, you get to pick like where you want to fish at. And their favorite fishing spots, I think they call them haunts, but I could be wrong on that because I wasn't that deep into it. But you go and you have to know where to go. Not all water has fish in it. Okay. But then you have to have the right type of bait because the bait is the food that attracts the fish. Now, if you have a fish that's not really into worms, then you don't want to bring worms to that pond. You want to bring something else. And y'all know I don't know all the words, but you'll get the gist of this, okay? So basically, what happens is, as a CEO, you're going to cast your net into this big wide ocean. Okay. You're going to cast your reel out. Because when you get good, it is a net. But you're going to cast your reel out. And what's going to happen is that the people who need what you have to offer are going to see your rod and they're going to be drawn to it. From there, it's going to be on you to nurture them and to be able to secure them as clients. But you have to first get their attention. That is what we mean by leads. How are you getting the people's attention who need what you have to offer? Okay. So you need to be able to create a system, and I do mean automate it, because when you get to a point in your business where you are ready to move to seven figures, some things just have to be automated. And lead generation and nurture is one of those things. And it's very easy. Haha, says me, who loves to do it and knows how to do it. But I wanted to talk a little bit today about how you can begin to automate your client journey because believe it or not, even though they're not a client yet, lead generation is where the client journey starts at. You with me? Okay, good. All right. So what you want to do is you want to streamline that process. And all I mean when I say streamline is you want to be able to say that we move forward this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. Step one, two, three, four, five. If this happens, then we do this. But if this happens, then we'll do that. Okay. Streamline means that you have everything where it is laid out. You know what happens when, how it happens, who's responsible for it. Okay. It is the byproduct of having your standard operating procedures in place. And again, your standard operating procedures are just a step-by-step direction. It is how you do what it is that you do. Okay. All right. So what you want to do is you want to be able to take those people whose attention you've gotten and be able to turn them into clients. And that's going to require that you do some things. You can't just say, oh, here I am. Because sometimes people don't even realize the problem they have. And let me explain that a little bit. So I may not always know when I go to the doctor, I don't know what I have. I don't know if it's a flu. I don't know if it's a cold. I didn't know if it was a virus. I don't know what it is. But I do know my symptoms. I know I have a headache. I know my throat hurt. I know that my eyes water. I know that I'm coughing. Everybody knows their symptoms. In the business world, those are pain points. So if you can identify what your ideal clients' pain points are, and you speak to them from the standpoint of this is what you're feeling, then you're able to tell them their diagnosis is that they need you to do X, Y, and Z. For example, if you have hired a virtual assistant, another virtual assistant, and it seems like they're not being able to get the work done. You've hired them, you've looked at their resume, they have the skill set, everything is supposed to go, but then it doesn't work out. And you have found yourself hiring, firing, rehiring, firing virtual assistant after virtual assistant. Your problem is not the virtual assistant. It's probably that you don't have your standard operating procedures in place. You're expecting them to read your mind instead of having what they need to do documented and a way for them to get it done. That's why you need me. So when I go and I say, okay, your symptom is that you keep running through these VAs and you're not finding one that's working for you. Okay. But their resume looked good. They seemed like they had it all together. When you did the little test and you had them do a project, everything seemed good. But when you get into the thick of it, how you move on a day-to-day basis, they keep letting you down. When in reality, you didn't set them up for success because you didn't have your SOPs in place. Now you're like, okay, wait a minute, I need to talk. Okay, because I recognize the hiring and the firing. I recognize that. But you didn't know that it's because you don't have your SOPs in place. So you have to be able to talk to your clients, those future clients, in a language that they will understand. All right, you got to be able to know all of that before you get to the automation, because automation is kind of like ads. They say you want to find out organically, you find out what works, and then that's what you put the money behind to make ads. You want to find out what systems and processes work. How do you do what you do successfully before you bring the systems and automation in? That make a sense? All right, cool. All right, so as you get ready to scale, and again, let's keep in mind, because I was reading a post the other day and they were talking about different words that people overuse and they're just over them. And I was so appalled because it said systems was one of the words, but I just read a little deeper and I understood they weren't talking about me. So I'm cool again. But let's talk about growing versus scaling. Growing means that you are consistently bringing in more revenue. You are bringing in revenue every month, every month. Your revenues are growing, okay? You're bringing in more money. Your business is growing. Scaling means that you have figured out how you do what you do. You've putting the processes and the systems in place to support how you do it. And what's going to happen is not only are you going to make more money, but you're going to make better use of your resources. What do I mean by resources? I mean your time personally. I mean the time overall for your entire team. I mean the money. I mean the expenses that go into it, like the systems and the things you're going to spend. So you're going to do more with less. So growing is just making more money, if you want to be real simple with it. Scaling means that you're making more and you're making better use of how you do it. Your profit margin is going to grow. Okay. So when you're ready to scale, you've already had some level of growth. You've been growing, but now it's time to figure out how to grow better, how to do it easier, how to make better use of those resources. With me? All right, cool. So with your lead generation and nurture, it's basically three activities. Okay. You're going to get their attention. You're going to nurture the relationship. Okay, so you're going to track them. Y'all know I have a framework for this. It's the ACE methodology. Okay, so you're going to attract your ideal client. Then you're going to cultivate the know, like, and trust factor. You're going to cultivate a relationship. You're going to be able to not only get to a point where, and this is the key, them knowing, liking, and trusting you is a result of you showing them that you understand what they're feeling and you care about it and you want them to do better. So it's not, oh, look at me, like me, like me. It's you have to be a friend to get a friend. You have to be useful in order for people to perceive you as useful. Okay. You have to speak the language in order to have the conversations. Okay. And then last is the E, so that you're able to enroll more clients. This is where you're actually going to onboard them. This is where you convert them from a fan, I like what you're talking about, to let's work together. All right. So you want to be able to automate all three of those processes: the capture or attraction, the nurture or the cultivate, and the convert or the enroll. Okay. And when you are able to attract your ideal client by the thousands, because we're not talking about a few people, you're able to cultivate the know, like, and trust factor, and you're able to enroll more clients consistently. Because, see, if you attract them by the thousands, then consistently you're going to be converting them, you're going to be enrolling them. Then you will have aced your lead generation and nurture, and your sales are going to increase. Is that making sense? You still with me? All right. So let's bring this up and let's put it in a tight little bow. So what are the three things you need to be able to automate, create a system, use systems to be able to get the people's attention? So do you have a lead magnet? You need to make sure that, first of all, the lead magnets where you just giving out, and I'm sorry if this hurts your feelings, but an infographic is no longer going to work. Lead magnets need to provide a quick win, and lead magnets need to be valuable. Just putting some words that I could Google or look up in Chat GPT does not make a lead magnet. So if you're having trouble with lead magnets and figuring out what's the best for you to use for your ideal client type, make sure you drop lead magnet in the chat below, and I will send you a link. We can have a conversation and talk about what might work better for you. Okay. All right. So you want to make sure that you are automating how they sign up for the lead magnet, how they receive the lead magnet. Could you imagine if you didn't automate this process? This is the equivalent of you being that person outside of the store and people coming in and you handing them a paper one at a time. And you stand there all day and you hand them the paper and they fill out the paper and then they hand you back the paper and then you have to type the information in the computer. That's what a manual system looks like. An automated system says, here's a billboard. On the billboard is a QR code. People take a picture of the QR code, it opens it up to the site, they're able to put their information in, and then they get the lead magnet. Doesn't that sound better when you're talking about thousands of people? Okay, so that's the first part. But then just because you have someone's attention you have to keep their attention. Okay. You have to, this is where you build the relationship. And I don't know about you, but my prayer since I retired has been that, Lord, I don't want to deal in transactions. I only want to deal in relationships. I only want to be in relationship with people. Okay. So this is where you're going to build that relationship. You're going to get to know them better. You're going to be able to tell them what it is that you know about the problem that they're having. You're going to be able to figure out exactly which symptoms they're having. And you're going to be able to let them know that you have a solution. And then they're going to have the opportunity to continue to share with you, get to know you so that they like you and they trust you and they want to work with you. Seeing me and saying, oh, I like it. I've heard what you do. That's nice. Versus seeing me and saying, how can I work with you are two different things. And we have to treat them as such. So you need to be able to, and this is where, again, owning your stuff, because you can do all the posts that you want on social media. That's not talking to anyone directly. But when you own something, when you have your own email list, then you're able to send out the messages that you want. What you send to one person may not be the same thing that you send to another person. You could segment your audience based upon the specific pain points that they're having. You can't do that on social media. You can't just say, oh, I only want it, because everybody's going to see it. But you can send the emails to the people that you want to receive the emails so that you can build the types of relationships with the different leads that you want to have. But can you imagine again sitting up typing? So you've attracted thousands of people, thousands, and you want to send out an email. First of all, you're not sending an email, you're sending an email sequence. And if you don't know anything about email sequences, drop sequence in the chat and we can have a conversation about that, because one email is not going to get it. A lot of times people think, oh, I'm just going to send this one, and then they didn't answer. No, especially in this day and age, people don't do it on the first try. We're building a relationship, remember? So it's not just tag, you're it. It's let's have conversation. That's a back and forth. Okay. So you want to be able to automate those emails so that they go out to people. And like I said, if you're segmenting your audience, that's even more emails. So you want to make sure that that's automated, that the emails go out as they're supposed to. And one of the things is that a lot of people think, oh, I have the system and they have the things, they have all the emails in there. And every day they go in and they push a button and they push a button. Implementing a system is not the same thing as integrating a system. Integrating means that all your systems talk to each other and you don't have to keep pushing buttons. You push one button and that makes a whole lot of different things happen. So if you're running into a problem where you feel like, just like with the virtual assistant, you feel like you have the right system and you're doing the right things, it may be that your systems are not integrated. They're not talking to each other. All right. So if you think that's the problem, drop integration in the chat and that's something we can talk about. Okay. All right. And last but not least, okay, guess what? You've done the hard part. You've attracted them. Okay. You've cultivated this relationship. Well, guess what? Now you have to enroll them. You have to say, guess what? We've been having this relationship and I have this thing that I think can help you. Would you like it? And you have to have a way for them to say yes. Again, we're talking about thousands of people. So we have to have a way for them to say yes. And that's what we call onboarding. So when you hear people referring to onboarding, that's what they're referring to. How do you get the person from lead, from I like you, to I'm working with you client? That's the onboarding process. And it is a process because there's some things that need to happen. If onboarding is your issue and you think that that's what you need help with, drop onboarding in the chat. Okay. So what I want you to do today, this is your homework, is that I want you to identify what task in your business, in the lead, just in the lead, I'm just in the lead generation and nurture, just in attracting the people, cultivating the relationship, and enrolling the people. What task do you have that are repetitive that you could automate? That's all I want you to do. That's all. I just want you to work on this one process. That's it. Okay. And I want you to start small. Like you could automate the form. that they fill out to get the lead magnet. That's one thing. Do you have an automated form for that? Okay, if not, that's your first thing because I want you to come up with at least three things. But that is the first thing that you could put on your list is that you don't have an automated lead capture form. You don't have a way for the people to sign up without you being there to hand them the piece of paper. All right. And then I want you to just kind of like think about that the whole thing we talked about with the ACE, attracting, cultivating, and then enrolling, and figure out what task in that you don't have automated that you need to get automated. And I want you to make a list of them. Okay. Making this list is the very first step. You cannot address a problem until you know where the problem lies. All right. And so I want you to do that. And then if you found value in this, I want you to do some things. Okay. I want you to one, share it with your friends. It's still Women's History Month. We going out with a bang. When I was little in school, they used to say if March comes in like a lamb, it's going out like a lion. If it comes in like a lion, it's going out like a lamb. Well, I don't know where you live, but March came in real smooth, real mellow in Ohio. And so we're all looking outside like, okay, is it going to be a storm? Are we going to have a blizzard at the end of the month? But let me tell you what I know about my business, about all businesses. You can change the whole trend of how things are moving. You can start out where everything is calm and you're wondering what's going to happen next. And then you can hit a season where it's a blizzard, where it's a storm, where people are knocking on the door to help you. So, my question is if you run into that good storm where people are coming in the door, are you ready for it? Would your business be able to withstand the success? Do you have a plan in place for your business if your business succeeds? If your business continues to grow, do you have a plan in place to support that growth? If you answered no to any of those questions, then I definitely want you to drop below help in the comments. It's just that plain, just that simple. Help. Because we will be able to come in and help you to be able to withstand the storm. Because what we don't want is we don't want to be like the three little pigs. That when the wind blows, when the goodness comes in, that you crumble. It's time to have a foundation that's strong so that you can grow exponentially and you can scale your businesses to new heights. All right. So make sure that if you found some value in this that you like, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't, because starting in April, all of the Brown Bag Business Boosts are only going to be available on my YouTube channel. I say that, but by May for sure. Okay, by May for sure. You're only going to be able to get them on LinkedIn or on YouTube, but eventually they're only going to be available on YouTube. And make sure that you look out for what next Thursday's topic is going to be, because these lessons are going to come out every week for CEOs who are looking to exponentially grow and scale their business. So I hope that you had a great time and I will see you soon. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.